Imagine being humiliated by someone you once considered a friend, just moments before a big opportunity. What if that very betrayal became the fuel that transformed your life forever? Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I'm so excited to share my story with you today. I'm 34 years old and I live in a charming little town where the sunsets are absolutely beautiful. For a long time, I was known as a housewife, but I wanted more. I wanted to challenge myself and grow beyond that role. My journey has taught me the importance of resilience, empowerment, and lifting each other up, especially as women. I'm here to inspire anyone who has ever felt underestimated or stuck. I believe we all have the power to rise above our challenges and embrace our true potential. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. I was pacing back and forth in my little living room, my heart racing. Today was the day of my big job interview. I kept glancing at the clock. It's almost time. Relax, Emily, I whispered to myself. But no matter how much I tried to calm down, my stomach felt like a knot. I took a deep breath. You've got this, Emily. This is your chance. My reflection in the hallway mirror looked back at me with wide eyes. I smoothed down my blouse, wishing I could be as confident as it seemed. At exactly 10 a.m., I stood in front of the interviewer, Mrs. Wright. She looked professional with her sharp suit and glasses perched on her nose. "Welcome, Emily," she said with a smile, but I could see she was serious. "Let's begin." I sat down, my knees shaking under the table. "Thank you for the opportunity, Mrs. Wright," I replied, trying to sound calm. "Tell me about yourself," she prompted. I took another breath. "Well, I've been a housewife for 5 years. I—" Suddenly, the door burst open. I gasped. Who could that be? It was Jessica, my old friend from college. I hadn't seen her in years. "Hey, Emily," she shouted, striding in like she owned the place. I blinked in shock. "Jessica, what are you doing here?" My heart sank. She looked so confident, so at ease. "I just came to drop off a few things," she said, waving her hands. She hadn't even noticed I was in an interview. "But look at you, still just a housewife?" The words hit me like a punch in the gut. I felt heat rise to my cheeks. "That's not fair," I said, my voice shaking. Mrs. Wright looked confused. "Excuse me, who are you?" "This is Jessica. We went to college together," I explained, my heart racing. I couldn't believe she was here, and she was making it worse. Jessica smirked. "Oh, I just thought I'd remind everyone what Emily really is. Right, Emily?" "Why would you say that?" I replied, trying to hold back tears. "Because that's the truth. You're just a housewife. You're not applying for a job to change the world," Jessica laughed coldly. Mrs. Wright shifted in her chair, her expression turning serious. "Emily, do you want to continue?" I felt so humiliated. "I'm sorry, Estamert. I'm trying to take a step forward." "Really?" Jessica challenged. "You think you can just leave that housewife label behind? Laughable." I felt so small. "I'm more than just that. I have skills, I've worked hard. I want this job." "I don't think so," Jessica dismissed. "You're not cut out for this." My heart pounded in my ears. "You don't know what I'm capable of," I said, anger bubbling inside me. "Emily," Mrs. Wright interjected softly, "it's okay. You can take a minute." I shook my head. "No, I don't want to leave." But Jessica was still standing there, her smug expression piercing through me. How could someone I once called a friend make me feel so terrible? My dream of this job felt like it was slipping away. "Sorry for the interruption," Jessica said, smirking before turning to leave. I stood there frozen, knowing I had to regain my composure. My heart thudded loudly. Would this moment define me? I walked out of the interview room feeling like I couldn't breathe. I didn't even look back. My heart was heavy and my mind swirled with Jessica's cruel words. Just a housewife. Why did she have to say that? As I stepped into our home, it felt so quiet. I dropped my purse on the kitchen table with a thud. Emily, is everything all right? Thomas peeked into the room. His face was filled with concern. I turned towards him, tears spilling from my eyes. It was awful, Thomas. Jessica showed up at my interview. She humiliated me. His expression shifted to worry. What? Jessica? I thought you two were friends? I thought so too, I sobbed. But she just stood there calling me just a housewife like that's a bad thing. I felt so small. Thomas stepped closer and wrapped his arms around me. I'm so sorry, Em. That's so unfair. You're so much more than what she said. Why did she have to walk in and ruin everything? I murmured, burying my face in his shoulder. I was finally finding the courage to take a chance. You still can, he said gently. You're amazing. You just need to show everyone. Don't let her get to you. I pulled back slightly to look him in the eye. But it hurt so much. I don't want to be known as her old friend, the housewife. Then don't be. You can be more. Why not start freelancing? Use your skills in writing or whatever you love, Thomas suggested. Freelancing? I echoed, pondering his idea. You really think I could? Absolutely. You're talented, Emily. I've seen you write the best stories for the kids. Start small and build from there. He smiled encouragingly. Sitting down at the table, I thought about it. But what if I fail? What if no one wants to hire me? Then you learn, you grow. It won't define you. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, he encouraged. I believe in you. I took a deep breath. The thought of starting fresh sparked something inside me. Okay, I'll try. Even if it's scary, I'll prove I'm more than just a housewife. Thomas grinned. That's the spirit. I'll help you with everything. We can make a plan together. I nodded, feeling hopeful for the first time since my interview. Let's do this. I can build a portfolio, find freelancing gigs. I can show Jessica. You'll show everyone, he said, pride shining in his eyes. And when you do, you'll remember today as a turning point. A heaviness in my heart began to lift, replaced by determination. I will. From now on, I'm in charge of my story. Exactly. Just take it one day at a time, he reassured me. As we sat together, I felt a spark of excitement growing. I wasn't defeated, I was ready to rise. Step by step, I would show them who I really was. The sun had just set, casting a warm glow in my cozy little office at home. I sat surrounded by my laptop, papers, and a pile of books, working tirelessly. This wasn't just my new routine, it was my new life. Freelancing had become my passion. Emily, you're still at it? Thomas asked, poking his head into the room. His eyes sparkled with love and concern. I have to keep going. I'm building something here, I replied, feeling the excitement bubbling inside me. He smiled but looked tired. You need to rest too. It's late. I know, but I've got deadlines, I said, glancing at the clock. I can't stop now. I'm almost done with this project. All right, but remember to take breaks. Your health is important too, he said, his voice gentle. I nodded, but I was too fired up to care. I had spent weeks crafting my portfolio and applying for gigs. With each article I wrote, I felt more confident. The feedback was positive. You're a talented writer, one client had said. Their praise lifted me higher. Look at you go. Thomas cheered one afternoon as I read him a compliment from another client. I beamed at him. I can't believe this is happening, I laughed. I'm really doing it. And one day I received an email that left me breathless. It was from a major magazine. We'd like to discuss a writing opportunity with you, it read. My heart raced. Thomas, you won't believe this. He rushed to my side. What is it? I got a message from Global Trends magazine. They want to hire me. My voice trembled with excitement. No way. That's huge, he exclaimed, grabbing me in a hug. You've worked so hard for this moment. I'm so nervous, I admitted, my hands shaking. What if I mess it up? Don't doubt yourself. You've got this. Just show them the amazing writer you are, he said, looking me in the eyes. The next day, I joined a video call with their team. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. Hi, Emily. Thanks for joining us, said the editor, a friendly woman named Sarah. Thank you for having me, I replied, my voice steadying. They discussed the project and I shared my ideas. I felt my confidence grow with each positive response. Excellent. We think your style will fit perfectly, Sarah said, and my heart soared. After the call, I jumped up. I can't believe it. They liked my ideas. This is going to be amazing. Thomas walked in, his eyes wide. That's fantastic, Em. You're really getting somewhere now. I felt a grin spread across my face. I'm really making progress. It feels incredible. That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about everything I had achieved. Freelancing had pushed me to discover my strengths. I was more than a housewife. I was a writer, an artist with words. As I drifted off to sleep, I couldn't help but dream big. Just wait, Jessica, I whispered to myself. You'll see. This is only the beginning. It had been a year since I started freelancing, and my life had transformed in ways I never imagined. I was now visible in the writing world, with clients who trusted me, but nothing could prepare me for the news I received that morning. Emily, you have to see this, Thomas shouted, waving his phone. He looked more excited than I could ever recall. What is it? I asked, feeling a mix of curiosity and concern. There's a major stake in the company up for sale, he exclaimed, his eyes shining. Global Trends magazine might be opening their doors for new investors. My heart raced. What do you mean? Like I could actually invest in them? Yes, with your earnings you could buy a share. Just think about it. He jumped up, clearly thrilled. I hadn't even considered this. But what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? You've built your career from the ground up. You've earned this. You deserve to be part of something bigger, he encouraged, his voice filled with belief. I stared at him, my mind whirling. Could I really do this? My freelance career had grown and I had saved money. If I invest, I'd have more responsibility, I whispered, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. That's true. But isn't that part of the journey? Ownership gives you a voice, Thomas said earnestly. Look at how far you've come. You know the magazine. You can make a difference. I took a deep breath. You're right. I can do this. My heart was starting to race even faster now, but it felt good. After hours of researching and talking to financial advisors, I made the leap. I'm ready to invest, I said with finally clarity in my voice. The process felt surreal. Days later, I received the confirmation. Congratulations, Emily. You are now a shareholder in Global Trends magazine. I screamed in delight. Wow, you did it, Thomas said. His face lit up with pride. This is a big deal. You're part of the team. I can't believe it. This is incredible. I laughed, my heart soaring. But soon, a wave of uncertainty washed over me. Thomas placed a hand on my shoulder. You won't. You have the knowledge and experience. Don't forget your worth, Emily. This is your moment. But despite his support, I felt the weight of my new role. I was no longer just a freelance writer. I had a stake in something bigger. What does it even mean to be a key shareholder? I asked, biting my lip. It means your voice matters now, he explained. You'll have a say in the direction of the magazine. You can push for changes and improvements. The thought both excited and terrified me. What if they don't listen to me? I worried. They will, Thomas said confidently. You're not just anyone, you're a writer they respect. Remember how you started? Your voice is powerful. Taking a deep breath, I tried to calm my racing heart. Empowerment flooded through me, but it was mixed with fear. I never knew I could be capable of such responsibility. Believe in yourself like I believe in you, Thomas said, wrapping his arms around me. I will, I promised, determination creeping back in. I'll show them I can be more than just a housewife. I'm ready to take charge. As I stood there, a mix of thrill and anxiety swirled within me. I had invested in my future, and I was ready to embrace the challenges ahead. I stood in the conference room, my heart racing. Today was the day I would present my ideas to the board. I looked around the table, catching sight of familiar faces. Nervousness surged through me, but I also felt a wave of excitement. I was finally here, not just as a writer, but as a leader. The sound of the door opening made everyone turn. Jessica walked in, wearing her usual confident swagger. My stomach lurched. What's she doing here? Welcome, everyone, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm excited to share some new ideas for the magazine. I chose to focus on the task ahead, pushing away any lingering doubts. Let's hear it, Emily. Sarah, the editor, smiled encouragingly. Thank you. I believe we should implement new policies to support our employees better, I began. My voice grew stronger as I spoke. One crucial policy I'm proposing is paid maternity leave. Jessica frowned, her eyebrows knitting together. Oh, come on. That will cost us a lot. Why waste money? I could feel the tension rising. Jessica, I said firmly, maternity leave is important. Employees should feel supported, especially new parents. It's not just about money, it's about people. People? This is a business. Jessica brushed off my words, but I could see a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. Actually, investing in employees can have great returns, I continued. Happy employees lead to loyalty, creativity, and ultimately better performance. I felt a rush of confidence, like my words were a shield. Sure, but can we afford to be this generous? Jessica challenged. I believe it's a step towards a better working environment, I answered. I've spoken to many staff members, and they agree. This is something they want. Who cares what they think? Jessica shot back, crossing her arms. They're not the ones running this place. Actually, they are the backbone of the magazine, I replied, my voice rising a bit. Without them, we wouldn't succeed. This policy could help us stand out. It shows we care. The room fell silent for a moment. I could see the others were starting to nod, but Jessica remained skeptical. And what else do you have? She asked, pushing me to go on. I took a deep breath. I also want to revamp our flexible work hours. Times have changed. We need to adapt. Flex hours? Are you serious? Jessica rolled her eyes. How will that even work? It can work if implemented correctly, I said, fighting to keep my voice steady. It allows employees to balance work and home life better. We'll see higher productivity, I promise. As I spoke, I noticed Jessica's expression change. She started to listen rather than argue. Maybe she was realizing I wasn't the same person she'd dismissed before. And why should we trust you with these changes? She asked, though her tone was softer this time. Because I've worked hard to earn my place here, I said, surprising even myself with my own strength. I've put in the hours and have seen the need for change. I want what's best for this company, just like you. I could see a mix of fear and respect cross her face. I had grown and she knew it. This wasn't just a dream, it was my reality. I was here to stay. Well, I guess we'll have to consider your proposals, she said, shifting in her seat. I could hardly believe it. Thank you, everyone. Let's create a better workplace together. As the meeting concluded, I felt a surge of pride. I had made my voice heard. I wasn't just a housewife anymore. I was a leader who believed in change. Walking out, I caught Jessica's eye. There was something different in her gaze. Maybe she felt threatened, or maybe she finally respected me. Either way, I couldn't let fear or doubt creep back in. I was ready to embrace my new role and pave the way for a brighter future. After the meeting, I felt a mix of excitement and anxiety swirling inside me. I had just taken steps toward changing the workplace, but I knew I had to face Jessica. We hadn't had a proper conversation since that day at my interview. "Emily," Jessica called as she approached me in the hallway. I took a deep breath, preparing myself. "Hi, Jessica," I said, trying to keep my tone casual, but it came out tight. "Can we talk?" she asked, crossing her arms defensively. "Sure," I replied, leading the way to a quieter corner of the office. I could feel my heartbeat quicken. "Look, about what happened last year at your interview," she began, but I cut her off. "I remember," I said, pain flickering through me. "It was humiliating. You didn't have to do that." My voice was steady, but the hurt was still there. "I know," she said, her eyes dropping to the floor. "I was wrong to say what I did. I underestimated you." The admission surprised me. "Really? I never thought I'd hear you say that." She swallowed hard, looking back at me. "I thought being a housewife defined you. I didn't see how much you could grow. I apologize for that." Her voice sounded sincere, and part of me wanted to soften, but the past still stung. "I appreciate the apology," I said slowly, "but that moment changed a lot for me. It pushed me to prove myself, but it also hurt to be treated that way." "I get that," she replied, her expression softening. "I wish I could take it back. I was jealous, I guess. You had the courage to do what I was afraid to do." "Jealous?" I felt confused. "But you were always so confident. Why would you be jealous of me?" "I don't know," she admitted. "Maybe I thought I had to keep up a perfect image. I didn't like seeing you step out of the housewife role." I took a breath, trying to understand. "Jessica, you don't have to feel that way. Everyone can grow and change. We should lift each other up instead of tearing each other down." "I know, and I will," she promised, her voice earnest. "I'll support you from now on." I studied her, searching for any trace of her old attitude, but I saw none. "It's not just about supporting me," I said firmly. "I expect respect, too. If you want to be part of this team, you need to treat everyone fairly." "Fair enough," she replied, nodding. "I won't challenge you like that again." "Good," I said, feeling a weight lift. "If we're going to work together, we need to set clear boundaries. I'm serious about my role here." "Agreed," Jessica said, her voice steady. "I'm ready to move forward." I nodded, feeling slightly relieved. "Thank you for talking with me, Jessica. I hope we can build a better working relationship together." "Me too," she replied. As we parted ways, I felt empowered. I had faced my past, and I was determined to build a future free from old grudges. Perhaps I was capable of more than just writing. I was a leader, and I wasn't afraid to stand my ground. I walked back to my office feeling lighter. Maybe this was the start of something new, not only for me, but for Jessica as well. Only time would tell. As I sat at my desk, I watched the sun slowly set outside my window. The golden light felt warm on my face, and I couldn't help but smile. My journey had been filled with ups and downs, but each moment had led me to this place. I felt a sense of peace wash over me. "Emily," Thomas said as he walked into my office, interrupting my thoughts, "what are you thinking about?" "I was just reflecting on everything," I replied, turning to face him. "It's hard to believe how far I've come in such a short time." "It really is," he said, leaning against the doorframe. "You've accomplished so much, and you should be proud." I nodded, my heart swelling with pride. "I really am. Remember how crushed I felt when Jessica belittled me? I turned that pain into something powerful." "I saw you grow stronger," Thomas said, his gaze warm. "You took that betrayal and used it as fuel. That's incredible." "Thanks," I said, looking out the window again. "But now I want to do more. I want to help other women find their voices too." "What do you mean?" he asked, tilting his head. I want to mentor women, share my story, show them that they can overcome challenges just like I did. I want them to know they can achieve anything, I stated emphatically. Thomas smiled broadly. That sounds amazing, Em. You can really inspire others. I hope so, I replied, feeling both excited and nervous. I just think about how terrified I was at the beginning. If I can help even one woman realize her potential, that would mean so much. Definitely, he agreed. You have wisdom to share. Plus, you've experienced a journey worth telling. I could hold workshops or write blog posts, I suggested, my mind racing with ideas. I can talk about facing challenges, believing in yourself, and standing up for your worth. That sounds perfect. You've got so much to teach, he encouraged. As I spoke through my ideas, a fire ignited in me. I could even create a support group, a place where women can come together, share their experiences, and uplift each other. That's brilliant, Thomas said, his eyes sparkling. You'll create a community that empowers women. I want them to feel that they're not alone, I continued passionately. We all face hardships, but together we can rise above them. I know how transformative it can be. Just then, something deep inside me told me I was on the right path. I can't wait to get started, I said with newfound determination. There are so many women out there who need to hear these messages. They deserve to feel strong. They deserve to believe in themselves. I'm so proud of you, Thomas said, his voice warm with admiration. You're already making a difference just by wanting to help, and I know you'll change lives. I smiled, feeling grateful for his support. Together we would spread positivity and empowerment. I was proud of how I transformed my feelings of betrayal into strength. As I sat back at my desk, I felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. I was ready to commit to this journey. It was time to share my story, to inspire others, and to create a movement. Together, we would support one another and rise as a community of strong, resilient women. With that thought in mind, I opened my laptop and started writing. The first words flowed easily as I began a new chapter, not only in my life but in the lives of others too. This was just the beginning. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever turned a difficult situation into a chance for growth? Share your story in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Let's uplift each other together.